Well, hello, 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 welcome. I briefly had a little bit of a brain freeze and didn't realize that I was the one that needed to let y'all in. So I apologize for leaving you in the waiting room for a few extra seconds longer. I can assure you that our speaker today, Tracy, will be much more hospitable than I was on your entry into this. But um, I am so excited that you are here today. We have a couple more folks jumping in, and I am also probably responsible for hitting the record button. So let me go ahead and do, nope, it started automatically. It looks like it's being recorded. Thank goodness for automatic things. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. I am Stacy Hawthorne. It says that my name is Learn 21 Webinar. It's really not. I am the Executive Director of EdTech Leaders Alliance, and I have with me my colleague Danny Timmons, who also leads up our ISTE work at the EdTech Leaders Alliance. She is an ISTE certified educator. And Danny and I did quite a bit of vetting when we first heard about this coaching certificate program, and we are so excited to be able to offer this program for anybody in the US, but particularly for EdTech Leaders Alliance members. We have with us today Tracy Keogh, who is with Forward Edge. She's the Assistant Director of Coaching Programs there. Forward Edge is based in Cincinnati, just like the EdTech Leaders Alliance. She supports coaches in local school districts and throughout the nation. She's currently sitting in an airport in Houston, demonstrating that she works throughout the nation with professional development, training, and engaging hands-on content. Tracy is a Google certified educator. She's a trainer and coach and has a master's in educational technology. Prior to being a coach, she was an elementary and middle school teacher for several years in Arizona. And given the immense teacher shortages they have in Arizona, I just heard that they were 2,200 teachers short this year across the state. I guess they would love to have you back, but they can't because we have you, and we're happy to have you. So the best news of this entire webinar is I will now shut up, and you guys will get to hear about our new coaching program from Tracy. Thanks so much for being here, Tracy.
Fantastic. Thanks for the great intro, Stacey. Yeah, my name is Tracy Keogh, and I am excited to be here with everybody today to talk about the Certified Coach Program through ETLA. We are super excited to be partnering with them to bring this to everyone of the ETLA members across the country. So let's jump in and learn a little bit more about what we've got going on. So again, to point out, I am a part of the Forward Edge team that works in Ohio doing a bunch of different things. My department is the Certified Coach Programs and Coaching Programs, working with groups like ETLA across the country, and really focusing on bringing the core of coaching framework to coaches like yourselves to really engage and work through different coaching aspects that we do day to day. So the ETLA Certified Coach Program, we are so excited to launch this program and welcome everybody to it. And we hope that this gives you kind of a base of information so that you can sign up and get started. The ETLA Coach Program was created to provide members who are technology and instructional coaches with education specific to their role in working with the teachers and the educators they work with, to really help guide those large scale instructional shifts. So we really want to see people moving through their growth, not just to check the box of growth, but to really enhance their life, their educational goals as well. It's also a great program because we created it to create a network of like-minded individuals. So our network that we put together with ETLA, with coaches like yourselves, is to give ourselves as coaches a place to go and learn. People that we can talk to about common challenges, common positive, great things that are happening around our districts and states as coaches that we're seeing in classrooms, and bring all of that together. So those are our two main goals with our Certified Coach Program, to provide this space for coaches like yourself to continue to grow and learn. Let's dive into what that program really means. So like all programs, whether you are working out or doing certified coaching, we want to make sure that you have a coach in your corner to help push you, to help drive those conversations and lead you down some great different avenues that you may or may not have known existed. Just like a workout coach is always there to push you a little bit harder and keep you moving. That is our goal as well within this program, is that as peers together, we continue to push everybody and move us through our role. We do take a holistic approach to our learning, so we're not heavily focused on one framework over another. We do format all of our trainings around the core of coaching framework, because it is more of an overarching holistic approach. We do talk through some of the different ones that are available out there, whether it's gym night or anyone else. We do touch on those as talk points because we know things like that are being used across the country. We talk through using a coaching cycle framework as well. Again, very holistic approach to this. So we don't hyper focus on, let's say, the Google Certified Coach framework, but we highlight the different elements that are available within those same spaces. You are also provided, again, this online community of peers, which is huge as an instructional coach. We know that you tend to kind of get stuck as an island. There may be 1 to 3 of you in your district or in your building. And so it's a great place to come together as a coach to meet other coaches and develop an online community where someone else understands what you're going through or can help create different outcomes for you and provide you with some different structural pieces. And we also have an easily accessible portal for all of our reference materials, all of your communications with your peers to form this online community. There is one space that you go to for all of that. So we're not popping you out to multiple places. It is one space to really allow you to constantly go check in, build that community, and find any of the references and resources that we talk about in each of our learning experiences. Just to highlight that core of coaching framework that I mentioned that we do utilize throughout the program, we have 3 domains in our core of coaching framework. You can see them here. We really focus on building relationships. We know as coaches in any capacity in education, you have to be able to build relationships with those teachers, with admin, with district personnel to continue to show growth, not only for yourself, but to continue to push those people to grow as well. So underneath that building relationships domain, we have 4 standards that we highlight throughout our entire program. In domain 2, we are talking about advancing sustainable change in teacher practice. So again, through our learning experiences, through our meetups that we offer, as part of the program, we are working towards making sure that our educators are able to stand independently of us, come to us when they need us, but really changing their teacher practice. So it's not just a one and done, but as a coach, if I work with you over the course of 2 to 3 weeks, maybe it's 8 weeks, once we get through that time together, you are, as the educator, are able to stand on your own 2 feet and really work through some of those troubleshooting pieces independently. And then our last domain, which both domain 1 and domain 2 feed into, is going to be domain 3, where we're leading organizational shifts. Our ultimate goal as a coach is to make sure that everything we're doing is leading to the greater good of the district, of moving everybody forward from professional growth to collaboration, continuous improvement, which is always a district's goal, is to move everyone along towards those overarching goals. And so leading that organizational shift as a coach allows you a different avenue and lens to see both your educators and your admin moving down this pathway and support all of their needs. All 3 of these domains that are part of our core of coaching framework do feed into our final portfolio project that we build along the way within our certified coach program. So in this program, we are constantly talking about our framework, and you are building a portfolio showcasing the amazing things you are already doing on campus that tie into at least 2 of the standards within the framework. When we're talking about our coaching cycles being summarized, this is our overarching view. It is very similar to coaching cycles that we will see when we are out in schools, no matter the framework. We're really focusing on these 3 bubbles. We do an entire learning experience around these coaching cycles. And some of our learning experiences are set up where we are talking through your goals and we are talking through how you can implement these so that when you go back after our time together on our learning experience, you are able to implement what we have talked about and collect feedback and reflection so that you are going through this process as if you are working with an educator going through this process. So setting those goals for yourselves, finding the way to observe, model, resource, adapt based on conversations you're having with peers in the program, and then that feedback and reflection, which becomes our portfolio, so we can make sure that we are all learning and growing along the way as we're becoming a certified coach within our program. All of this to say, we are aiming to help prepare you to have a set of these outcomes. So we want you as a coach to have a clear understanding of your role as an instructional or technology coach. Does everyone have a clear understanding of your role? This isn't just, I know what I am supposed to be doing, but do your educators understand why you are there and how you can support them? Does your admin understand why you are there and how you can support them? So within our learning experiences, we talk through all of these pieces to help you develop a plan to create that clear understanding of your role as a coach. We also want you to start thinking systemically about your role and how your role in the coaching program plays a bigger initiative and a bigger part in the larger district goals. We like to think about it as a cog in a system of gears. You are one of those gears that is constantly moving and trying to push everybody else to keep moving. We want to make sure that systemically we are all working together to reach those larger goals in our district and initiatives. And that what I am doing as a coach working with educators is supporting that goal at the district level. So we talk through a lot about that and rely on each other to talk through like, well, how is that working in your district? And this is how I'm doing it here. And kind of borrowing and using the materials and the information that we are learning from each other to help push our district and our goals down the road. Another outcome that we are constantly striving for is the approach to technology integration from a learning objective first mindset. So what this means is we are really trying to make sure that the narrative we are providing as coaches is not to just come in and say, here's this great new tool, let's see how we can make it fit into your classroom, but more asking what's going on in your classroom, how are things working, where are you struggling? Maybe this tool will take something off your plate or will engage that group of students that's really struggling. And we can add that into their learning instead of just throwing a tool at you. So we are highly focused on that learning objective first mindset to continue to move our teachers through their goals and change that long-term district-wide goal as well. We want you also to be prepared to incorporate coaching cycles. We know that this is hard on the day-to-day, especially if you are a coach that supports multiple buildings or you support a building that is a K-12 building. It's harder to incorporate these coaching cycles into your program. So one of our learning experiences which is a 2-hour learning, we will talk through how to incorporate coaching cycles. What does this look like? What incentives can you potentially utilize to move coaching cycles along at your school? How do I advertise and market for coaching cycles? All of those pieces are things that we discuss as part of an outcome that we have for you, is trying to work these in or figuring out the best way to make this work for you as a coach, as well as your educators that you are working with. We also have an outcome for you of creating and marketing professional learning experiences. We want to make sure that we are following the best practices for andragogy. As adult learners, we want to really be able to push through and make sure that what we're providing for you as coaches is personable and memorable, and allows you to turn around and use this with teachers on your campus, guide them through some of their learning, and really kind of showcase what you are capable of as the coach. Sometimes this requires reminding our educators that we were teachers too. So we understand their struggles and we want to help them, save them time, provide a way to take something off the plate for them to help push them forward. And a lot of that is understanding those andragogy practices that are available for us as adult learners. With all of that, it is also important that we are building a strong skill set for building relationships and deepening those coaching conversations. We talk a lot about how to build relationships as coaches. A lot of this in our program, in our day-to-day as coaches, is all built around building relationships. Not only from yourself as a coach, but building it with teachers, teachers building relationships with students, Even when it comes to like within ETLA, building those relationships with each other as members. We want to bring all of that together so that you feel supported, your educators feel supported. You should know if your favorite teacher that you visit on Wednesdays goes to tacos every Wednesday because it's less crowded than going to Taco Tuesday. And you have that strong connection and that relationship built where that teacher feels comfortable having some of those harder conversations with you. So we do work through a lot of those pieces, and really you might have the expertise because you're a veteran coach, and we love that. And we welcome all of your ways that you have built relationships. We also work with newer coaches, and we want to bring them up and show them how to build relationships with teachers that might be older than them or younger than them, and how we can change the way we build relationships as a coach and change those conversations that we're. We do a lot of data discussions as well. As a coach, we know what we do is driven by the data that we can see. So we talk a lot about how to utilize data to make informed decisions about your work. It also helps for that data to be able to prove what you are doing as a coach, how great that work is, or the areas that maybe we need to work better on to help our teachers. So we talk a lot about how to utilize data, how to build that in to support our teachers, how to use that in professional developments where you gave a survey to learn what they wanted, and then you can build on that and showcase that data to your teachers within all of those pieces. You can showcase data to your admin as well of why you're doing specific things. And we talk through all of those pieces as a group within our cohort to really drive understanding. So another great tool that you might already be doing is collecting that data, and you can share out how you are doing that as well. All right. One of the biggest parts that all of those things we just encompassed that is part of our ETLA certified coach program is the portfolio at the end. So our portfolio at the end has 4 pieces to it. Those pieces, again, encompass the 3 domains of the core of coaching, because we realize that those are the key pieces as a coach that we are doing all the time. Within each of those domains, like we talked about earlier, you will have the selection of 2 standards of your choice. And then for each standard, we ask for an artifact to represent that standard. So if you are building relationships and learning to market yourself, maybe you're sending in the bookmark that you have created and handed out to your teachers to tell them, here are the things that I can help you with. So that artifact would be submitted. A picture of it is just fine. You would do a quick summary of your artifact, and then an explanation of how that artifact, in this case, the bookmark, relates to building relationships and the impact of that. So how that changes what you are doing as a coach, the minor changes that you have seen. And you would follow the same pattern for each of the 3 domains that you see listed here with those artifacts, really discussing your passion. What I love most about this portfolio is it's truly built around things that you are passionate about in each of these spaces. And it is built in any platform that you enjoy working in, whether it is Google Docs, whether it is Word, whether you are a big Canva user. You can build this format in any capacity that best suits you and shows off what you have been doing all year as a coach. That last bubble you see here is our end goal of that school or district division alignment, and how you as the coach are supporting those larger goals of the district. So how are we making sure that what we are doing as a coach identifies those goals, helps us show how we're supporting those goals, and how we're impacting those goals of the district as well. So a well-rounded portfolio that sums up all of the work we encourage throughout every one of our learning experiences and every one of our sessions together in the certified coach program, to be working on this little by little so that it does not overwhelm you at the end. Again, our goal is that this is something you are already doing. We are just collecting the pieces and putting them together to showcase what great things you have been doing throughout the year as a coach. We kind of went through all this already with domain one, building relationships. We can see those three different areas here, as well as domain two with sustainable change. Again, this one is the ultimate goal of how instructional coaching is able to facilitate sustainable improvements in our teaching practice. So we really want to see how we're using data analysis, how we're working with the content knowledge and instructional strategies. At no point do we expect you to be a content knowledge on every piece of content or curriculum across all grade levels, but there might be small pieces that you're really strong at that help move that sustainable change. And then progress monitoring and reflecting throughout all of this of making sure that we're continuing to move our teachers down that pathway. Organizational shifts, you can see those smaller standards here where we're collaborating with administrators. We are working with whether they are school administrators, district level personnel, and really driving that change of the entire organization, our entire school, our entire district, and making sure those priorities are being met from those goals all the way through our teacher goals, through our students' goals as well. So the nuts and bolts of this program, as we've been talking about throughout the entire intro here, what do I have to do with this cohort? What am I going to sign up for and be in with? Well, this is kind of what it looks like. We have a learn section, and those learn sections are learning experiences. They're 2 hours long, typically in webinar format like this, where we will meet and talk. You'll have time to connect with your peers in that cohort. This is a session that is recorded, so it can be asynchronous or synchronous. We prefer everybody show up in person so that we can build those conversations and connections. But it is recorded if you're busy during the school day, you have something come up during our meeting time and you need to attend to that, you can watch the recording. After we've done our learning experiences, our next part is to have you go try those things. So we tend to build in 2 weeks between our learning experiences and our meetups, where you can go implement some of the things we're talking about or think through and process those pieces that we are talking through. After that 2 weeks and we come back together, we do have what we call a meetup. So our meetup are virtual discussions where everybody in the cohort comes together, gets a chance to connect and walk through 3 to 4 questions that we talk about. You're in breakout rooms, you're connecting with each other. How does this work here? These are all questions based around our learning experience from the 2 weeks prior and the work that you have done between those two. When it comes to these meetup sessions, these are not recorded sessions. So we really want everyone here to make that time to be part of this 1 hour meetup discussion, have that connection, really listen, really lean into the material that we're working on and your role as a coach. And again, throughout all of this process, we are building that coaching portfolio to show off those great things that you have been doing all year long that are connected to the domains and the learning experiences that we are working on. So a pretty simple model, takes about 5 months, where we work through different things. This is a sample of the agenda that is also posted on the ETLA website so that you can click on that and see what we do. You can see here in our first meetup, in that first group, we just do a program orientation. We walk you through our member portal, talk about what a coach is, establish those essential role functions. Then we move into our second learning experience, which typically happens in the second month, where we talk through backward EdTech, how to use tools, how to make sure that we're staying instructional learning focused, not just tool focused. And we also, in that same 2 hour session, we'll talk about how to market your coaching support. So what does that look like? How can we take it from being just optional, you're here wandering the halls, to being more critical and more just everybody wants a time with you, and creating and connecting to those intrinsic motivators that our educators have. After each of these topics that you see listed here is when we do those meetups. So after month 2, topic 2 and 3, we will go into a meetup 2 weeks later. Month 3 is a PD session. So we are working on how to change PD and how to change the mindset of educators within PD. So that one is actually one of my favorites to be a part of. because it is titled Not Another PD, and how we can make it more fun, more engaging, how we can execute and use those andragogical minded processes and learnings to really guide our teachers in a different direction while they're with us in those PDs. And within that same one, we talk about how to differentiate for coaches as well. So how can we make sure that what we're demonstrating to our educators will translate to our classroom and show off those skills available? Is it when your teachers walk into a room for a PD, you are providing them with a pre-survey to show their learning and growth? And if they have 100% or they can prove this is something they regularly use, they submit that and then they get the time back during the PD and they are not sitting there. So we're differentiating out for those educators. Month 4, systemic coaching, data-informed coaching. Again, reaching those outcomes of talking through data. How can it support us? How does it really drive what we are doing as a coach? And then our last time together, our last learning experience is all about coaching cycles. So we spend 2 hours diving into how to set up a coaching cycle, how to market a coaching cycle. What does it mean? What could it look like? Having conversations with each other along the way and all of these pieces. So a pretty hefty program agenda that takes place over 5 months, starting in January, and great conversation happening in between all of these pieces. What does this include? Like you just saw, this is broken down by the numbers now. In case you need to see that, we have 9 hours of facilitated learning. So each of those learning experiences equals out to about 9 hours of facilitated learning. You have about 5 hours of collaborative discussions. So those meetup sessions are 1 hour each, and then you're collaboratively discussing in those learning experiences as well. You submit your one portfolio at the end of the session. While you're working on all of this, we are going to be calculating and keeping track of your attendance so that we can offer you up to 18 contact hours for all of this training and learning that you are doing for your own professional growth. And a great little bonus is the ETLA Certified Coach Badge you see here on the screen. That will be sent to you. You can include that in your signatures, print it off, wear it with pride, put it outside your office. But a great little badge to showcase when you are meeting people that you have spent the time to really develop yourself as a coach through this certified coach program. So you get that at the end as well. Our program goals, again, positively impacting our student learning, our teacher instruction, and those district organizational goals. Always keeping those at the top of mind, which is why we're highlighting them again here, is everything we do, we want to make sure it has that positive impact to guide us as coaches and all of the pieces that that trickles down to. All right, so who should join? Why does this matter? I've learned all this information. I can see that I, have 15 hours of things that I'm going to work on, and I can submit this portfolio, but why does this matter to me? So who should join? This program is really best suited for individuals who are actively serving as an instructional or technology coach because you're already in that role, or teachers transitioning to a coaching role. So if your goal is as a classroom teacher to move into an instructional coach role, you've had a great instructional coach that you would also love to provide that support. This gives you that ability to really learn the role before you're embedded in it and understand it. Now, keep in mind, most of our meeting times are during the school day, so that could conflict with your teaching schedule. So you do need to keep that in mind, but we welcome anyone that is willing to learn about being a coach, whether instructional or technology, and wants to really grow in that role. Here are some different reasons why coaches should join the ETLA Certified Coach Program. These are reasons that coaches have joined other certification programs that we run across the country as well. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but some to highlight. It does improve your coaching skills, gives you a fresh perspective. We have heard that from veteran teachers that have worked through and been certified through our programs, that that fresh perspective of hearing it from younger coaches or from different coaches around the country of just, oh, I didn't realize I could try it that way, or I like how you embedded that into this piece. I just learned that something new the other day that I never actually thought about. In my signature as a coach, I always included my Book Me calendar, but I never thought about including the link to my newsletters that I sent out once a month. And I talked with a coach last week and she said, yeah, that's what I do because it's easier for my teachers to always find it. So small things like that you get out of all of this as well. I also love when you join our certified coach program, you get to collaborate and network with other coaches. So this is a huge one because we know that coaches do not have huge networks that they can be a part of. They do not have spaces where they can learn together and grow together. So that is what we are trying to provide when we are working through the certified coach cohort, is giving you that network. We also want to make sure that you're feeling able to support your teachers in integrating technology or being more effective in your role, in that sense that you can really push through different pieces with coaching and make sure that you feel comfortable either mentioning to your teacher, like, you know what, I'm not 100% on that. Let me go back and research that. And we can, meet again tomorrow or in a couple of days when you have time so that I can best support you in that. Or even just, I loved teaching that. I would love to come in your classroom and help out and see how I can better support you with this lesson that you're running. You get to gain coaching certification, credential, time spent learning, growing, building that culture of collaboration is always key and super important as to why you should join this cohort. All of these 10 reasons really speak to different parts of us as coaches and help us grow as professionals in the education. So that is really the gist of all the things, short and sweet, a lot to talk through, but a great culture building, professional building moment within our certified coach programs. Our goal, like it says here, is to unlock your superpower as a coach and really have you connect with all the things that are available for you as you go through this program. So sign up today. We're really excited that this is launched and we'll be starting in January. The syllabus is in the Bites and Insights newsletter as well. So if you want to click on that and dive into that a little bit more, that is available for you to see, review, talk to admin about, determine what the best process for you is going to be. So I will reach out to Danny or anyone in the background if there's any questions that may need to be answered. Happy to do that.
See, nothing came through the chat. Does anyone have questions? You're welcome to put them in the chat or the Q&A. Both are open. While you are writing down all your questions, although Tracy explained things so nicely. So thank you so much, Tracy, for that. That was amazing. And it gave a really good insight. I do want to share my screen and show you on our EdTech Alliance website. You will see all that additional information. If you want more details, there's a flyer that'll give you additional information, and then the opportunity to register is there too. Laura, the cost for the cohort is $400 per participant. Stacy, are you muted?
I am muted. Thank you for noticing that, Danny. I will add that I'm going to add another button next to the download the flyer that says access the recording. So if you want to watch the recording, send it to somebody else. That way, Tracy, you did such a nice job explaining the program. I want to make sure that everybody has that there as well. So we'll include the recording right there on the webpage for anybody.
And then
Fantastic. And if anybody needs a note of like how to convince your district or your admin to help you with this program, I will happily provide something to Danny and the team so that you guys are able to kind of showcase what this program can offer for you as a PD partner as well.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this event and want to join us for more events, we do have some upcoming ETLA webinar events in the coming weeks and month. September 18th, just next week, we'll have Diary of a CTO, Unlocking the Value of ETLA and CoSIN. I think that's with Stacy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm not good at that time, Danny.
On October 7th, we're going to give you a little sneak peek into the ETLA conference. So whether you're coming or not, it'd be fun to see a little sneak peek behind the scenes of what's going on and what's coming during that event. Tracy will be there talking about the cohort program. So if you saw this webinar today and you think, I really want to send somebody, my colleague, to this to learn a little bit more, that's another opportunity for you to get that information to a colleague or a friend that you think would benefit from this cohort. Finally, ISTU is offering an AI cohort that starts on October 6th. It's a 15-hour asynchronous but instructor-led program on AI. So if you want to do a deep dive, that is on ISTU. All the information for all these and other upcoming events is available on the EdTech Leaders Alliance website, as well as the coaching information that I showed you just a moment ago. So I just want to thank Tracy for being here and sharing her information with us. We are so excited about this coaching program.
Danny, one thing real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are an ETLA member, I will add this coaching is available for anybody. You do not have to be an ETLA member, but if you are an ETLA member, you do have full access to all of our webinar recordings. We had an amazing webinar earlier this week from the Center for Democracy and Technology on non-consensual deepfakes. So that recording is up on our member webpage, our member YouTube channel. So if you don't know how to get that, just send us an email. We'll make sure that you have that. But all of our webinars are recorded and available to ETLA members. So.
I'm not seeing any other questions. So with that, I want to thank Tracy one last time and thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Come
Bye,
find us
Tracy.
at the conference. Bye, Danny. Bye, Stacy.
Bye. Thanks so much, Tracy.